I'm afraid I made a mistake. I got carried away with your initial enthusiasm and became a little too free with the company's money. That doesn't mean it should get to be a habit. I'll just chalk the 500 up to experience. The company is no longer interested in anything you have to say.
I'm gonna be on you like a bad case of flu.
The Morning Stream, Conan the Barbarian. Hello, everyone. Welcome to TMS. It's the Morning Stream for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. I'm Scott Johnson, and that is Brian Ibbett.
Hello. Welcome to a brand new week, even though it's a Tuesday.
No latency on you.
That's awesome. Oh, I love it.
Oh
yeah, and it sounds super clear, too. So
yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah.
That's what we asked for in this life.
I mean, this kind of helps. I mean, I say this now, and then we're going to get some sort of drop in audio. But right now, it certainly feels like, yeah, Discord has been the problem with those weird audio drops that I was having.
Yeah, it might have been. Like I didn't have it with anyone else, but it's entirely possible that there is a very specific scenario where Discord and your end are just not getting along, and I don't know why.
And TDS Telecom and Discord are just bunk.
Something to do with some service thing we have no control over. So we're trying something new. We're going to give it a shot. You guys at home should notice nothing except we have less latency and better. What do they call the thing when you say stuff simultaneously and you can hear both of you saying it? What's that called?
Oh, yes, duplexing.
Duplexing. It has really good duplexing. Brian just spoke. You guys heard him as I talked over him. See, that's a hard thing to replicate on the internet. It's like he's here. Yeah. It's like you're sitting right here.
It's like I'm right here in the room. I'm right here in the room with you. Look around. I'm behind you.
You're like this Devo guy, just standing there.
Just standing there in the yellow. Really, it is a yellow jumpsuit. No, I'm wearing the West Ham Hammers today because the Premier League season has come to an end, and the Hammers once again escaped relegation by the skin of their soccer balls.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
I'm sorry, they're footballs.
They're footballs. Yeah, excuse us.
Footballs. Yes.
Excuse us, international football fans.
That's right.
We try and keep up on this stuff, but
exactly. So
my son-in-law way into professional soccer, and so right now it's all he talks about. So when I see him, he's just like, "Hey, did you see the thing with Chelsea, this and that?" And
cool.
Like,
yeah.
No, I haven't.
Did you see the game between Crystal Palace and Bournemouth?
Yeah, it all sounds fake to me. It sounds like, I don't know,
it does.
Harry
Totally
Potter competition or something. So,
it's all Quidditch to me.
It's all Quidditch. Different Quidditch divisions I was unaware of. Anyway, we're happy to be here. Hope you're all well there at home and having a decent. I hope you had a nice day off yesterday with the Memorial Day. What'd you do?
I did.
Did you get up to something?
I did. I woke up at my usual time, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get up and Uber a little bit. We're doing a ton of front yard work, and the still, basically we ripped out a whole section of our yard to do some xeriscaping, and it's dealing with the sod is the problem, or the big issue, because instead of using a sod cutter, we just used shovels, saved a lot of money, and still would have had the same problem of, all right, what do we do with this sod? Like, we were able to get all the sod cut out of the yard with shovels in about, I don't know, 3 hours, 4 hours.
Here's the early bits on Saturday that you showed us.
Here's the first, that's the half, actually, no, that's the first quarter I did, and then I was able, right before I left to do Film Sack, I was able to get to those 2 red flags and cut half of the sod out. So now we're drying out a lot of the sod to break off the dirt, and then there's a field behind the house where I've been, by suggestion of one crazy neighbor, dropping all my sod. Why put sod in a landfill? Really, it's organic. Let it nutritionalize. Let it give its nutrients back to the earth from whence it came.
Yeah, give back to Mother Earth for once.
Yes.
I think that's fine.
Yes.
But your ultimate goal is like what? Like a lot of rock formation stuff and flowers and like what's the ultimate?
Yeah,
plan?
We've got pavers. The city of Arvada, actually, the city of Denver has an initiative that if you say, "Hey, we want to do some xeriscaping," they give you a really good discounted price on a flat, a case basically of water low water plants, things like asters and black-eyed Susans and things like that. And so you'll fill that area with those. You'll still use your sprinklers on full for the first year so they can kind of quote unquote take root. But then for 2026 spring, we'll switch it to a drip system and use a lot less water for that section.
Yeah, the drip stuff's great. Kim's got the whole thing in the backyard wired that way for tomatoes and stuff, and saves us so much freaking water every year.
We've got a garden that uses that, so it's so fun to set up too, because you're like, ooh, snaking these little tubes instead of big fat unwieldy sprinkler.
It's like
lines.
It's like water-based tokenry network, basically.
It really is, yes.
Which is kind of a problem if you get a leak on one of the points.
Right,
because
exactly.
it's
You have
like
to figure out where. Yeah, right.
The rest of the network can't get data.
Exactly. Yes, I think, like, when a plant is yelling to the other, I think the water network's down. Water network's down.
I can't get my tomato mail. What's going on here? That's great.
I'm not able to load anything on DripTube.
Oh, no, DripTube. Not allowed in this office. Well, that's cool, though. So you guys are on your way to awesome yard shit.
Yes, yes. There's still a good portion of our lawn that is traditional grass, and I think for the foreseeable future, it'll have to stay that way, because I think HOA is good with a section of our yard being xeriscaping, but not the whole thing being xeriscaping.
Gotcha. Yeah, we have weird rules like that, too, here, and I don't even know what they are. I think we have to submit plans to them that are very
We do, too.
detailed.
Tina drew what she showed me was like, this is like a napkin sketch of what her idea was for that section of yard.
Love it.
And we've had things where it's like, oh, here are the colors we want to do for our garage or for our, to paint our trim. And it goes back and forth with like, well, is that this color in the guide that we gave you? And it's like, yeah, that's the same blue. Well, it looks different. Well, it's the same blue, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then weeks of back and forth. She submits a child's drawing of a bunch of circles in a square with like flower names in the circles, and it gets approved instantly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So
that's great.
Apparently
Though.
that's what we need to do from now on.
It takes us forever to do anything, and we did a thing in the back where I had to submit. I submitted a nice technical PDF of like, I used tools and stuff to make it look pretty and everything. Yeah. And it came back like 5 different times before we had to, kept tweaking it. So I don't know if they're just picky or if the napkin thing would have been the way to go. I don't know.
Maybe the napkin thing is the way to go. Maybe don't go so detailed with your submissions to the HOA and let their imagination fill in the parts that aren't easily understood.
Yeah. Make them work a little bit over there. Jerks.
Yeah.
Taking our money.
Exactly.
They were doing a thing the other day where they were like having a book fair or some kind of something, which is fine. I encourage such things. These are for kids and whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm driving by going, that's our HOA money you're spending on all that right there.
Yeah, no kidding. Exactly. You didn't approve this with us, did you?
Yeah, where's your drawing?
I have actually at some meeting that you didn't go to.
Maybe we signed something at some meeting. I don't know. But it was all so dumb. But anyway, well, that's great. I'm excited for you because I would love to do more of that here. F lawns. Too much water. They're dumb. I don't want to mow them anymore. Let's go. Let's do it.
Right. And you can do something just as pretty with water-resistant flowers or water. What do they call that? Low water foliage, whatever. Then
desert-friendly stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which is a lot of what we already put in. So maybe as well just go for it.
Yeah.
You know what? You're inspiring me to like go bug them again and just see if we can do this. Because the front yard in particular, we want to do something really cool there. Mm-hmm. But all I think about is the headaches I'm going to have with the HOA.
Of course. Yep.
Bastards.
Understandable. Anyway.
Hey, I saw a movie this weekend. I saw Final Destination Bloodlines in the theaters. Kim and I were like, what do you want to do? And she goes, well, we could see, Tom Cruise in this. And I said, well, I still haven't seen the last 2. She says, well, why don't we catch up on those? Oh. Yeah, I'm way behind. She goes, what else is there? I said, well, there's a horror movie if you're in the mood. And she goes, well, lately I'm really enjoying these horror movies that we're seeing. What is it? And I said, well, it's Final Destination. She goes, wait, I thought you just watched that for Film Sack. I said, well, we did. It was the 3rd one. And she goes, oh, this is like a sequel or whatever. And I said, yeah, this is like 6th in line or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay, well, is it any good? Because I don't think that helped her. I think she thought that meant it was trash.
Right.
And I said,
usually you get up in those numbers with some of these movies, and it's like the higher the number, the lower the quality.
Yeah, exactly. And it's getting such good reviews. I just thought, well, this is an exception I'll make to waiting. Normally the thing I'd wait for, or even wait for Film Sack, to be honest. Let's see, Rotten Tomatoes has it at 92%. So I was just like,
that's amazing.
I was like, holy shit, we gotta see this. So we did. Man, this has the gnarliest deaths of any of these. Like, it's not even close. I'm trying to think of one that was maybe close in the one we saw. I guess maybe the kid at the end who got smashed by the
thing falling off the crane
thing.
Yeah,
that was pretty gnarly.
Okay,
the nail head lady was pretty gnarly. But in this, there are things. I won't spoil these deaths for horror fans that want to go see it themselves. But man, there was but they were to such extreme.
Yeah,
that they weren't scary.
Comical.
I was laughing my freaking head off in that theater.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, even the nail thing and the other deaths from Final Destination 3 that we just watched, they're so over the top that they're comical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're so gleefully leaning into it. Yeah. Kim's like, she thought at first I was laughing so hard. She was like, "You're gonna irritate other people." And then she starts laughing, and now every kill is making the entire theater erupt in laughter. And it's not because it's cheesy or bad looking or doesn't work. It's because they're so well done and so over the top. You're just like, I cannot believe I just saw what I saw. And we were laughing. Yeah. So we had so much fun at this movie. And I think that's why it's reviewing so well. It's not like, amazing Oscar-worthy performances, although I love Tony Todd's scene. It was really good.
Oh, yeah, cool, awesome.
Can't wait. They dedicated the whole thing to him.
Nice little tribute.
Nice. Yeah, he was great in it. But just the overall vibe of the thing was so much fun. It reminded me of when you're a teenager and you go see one of the Freddy movies or something with your friends. Mm-hmm. Just like total blast. And we ended up, it was kind of packed in there. And the only seats available were these up front ones. So I had a front row effing seat, Brian.
Oh, God, I hate those.
I normally hate them, but these had really good reclining. So I was able to kind of,
You were able to keep your head still and not feel like you were watching a tennis match with stuff that was going on?
Yeah, there was still a little left to right going on, but not too bad. The up and down or the strain on your neck like that wasn't too bad.
When I look at the map of the theater, there's that aisle, the horizontal aisle that bisects the front and the back halves, but there's only like 3 rows in front, and then there's 5 or 6 rows depending on which big screen we're seeing it. Yeah. If the only thing left are seats in front of that aisle, nope, I'm not doing it. Not even the back row of the front section. I don't want to be so immersed in it that
I'll admit it was too much. By the time I got home, my eyes were pretty strained, just from taking it all in or whatever. And I said to Kim, that was worth it, but I don't think we're doing that again. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Especially action-y movies where there's like big stuff happening quickly. It's like too much for your brain.
I mean, let's say I'm slow on the draw and Fantastic Four opening night tickets, and the only thing left is that front section. I might do it if the alternative is waiting till the next day. I might do it.
So what if it's the new first part of the Avengers trilogy or duology?
Yeah, Doomsday.
Yeah,
sure.
Let's say that's it, and Brian gets there, and they're like, "Well, we have these 2 front seats. Do you do it? Do you take them?"
There'd never be a point that I get there. I go to the theater without having pre-bought my tickets. Like I'm not even making the drive unless I know where I'm sitting. And
the scenario's broken the way I've described it.
It's a broken scenario. Would never happen. Would never happen.
No.
But very front row. I don't think even for Doomsday or First Steps or whatever. I don't even think any of those would. I can't do it. I think you did it and you did it fine, and you said it was worth it, but wouldn't do it again.
I don't want to do it every time for sure. I'll do it in a pinch like we did this time, but I'm not going to seek that out.
I can't remember. There was some movie that this was back before pre-buying your seats, and we were stuck in the very front row, but it was reclining seats, and I can't remember what the movie was, but it was. I think that's when I made the decision. It's like, nope, never doing this again, ever.
It's too much. It's too much. So don't recommend that if you. And it's some people in the chat. Monica actually kind of likes it up there.
She does. She takes row B by choice. She says
that's crazy.
But I don't know. I mean, her theater there might be a lot more space between the screen and where row B is than there is in my theater. And yours might be different too. Like I'm basing it on what I know about my theater. Yours might have a mosh pit space or something.
Ours has the one we went to had like one of those stages where the director would come out and do Q&A.
Where they could do, see, that would make it, okay, that would make it a lot better.
It was probably a little better because of that, if I'm honest. And also, well, I guess you could use that for, they're always advertising these things. Have your big church group or your company or your whatever.
Company meeting or whatever. Yeah.
I assume they use that for all that. So that did give us a little bit of a buffer. But the sound in there, that's the other thing I'll say about this movie. The sound work was top freaking notch.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And it also did some clever, this is why when you see it, because you'll see it at some point.
Yeah.
I have this prediction that you're gonna find a couple of things in particular, like really clever choices.
Okay.
Just knowing the way your game works in, like, with trivia and games and strategy.
I love
and all
that sort of thing. Like almost like it's a figure out how this room is going to kill this person.
Yeah. There's gonna be we're gonna have the discussion when that happens.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, we'll see. We've got trivia Thursday night, so no movie this week. Or no movie Thursday night anyway, but and Wednesday tomorrow night will probably be the only chance I get to watch our Film Sack movie. So we'll see. Maybe Friday night. I don't like doing the Film Sack movie Friday night because it doesn't give me enough time to horribly slap together a song.
Oh right, so, you need music time. I forget about that.
I need at least 2 days to horribly slap together a song.
No, that's definitely an issue. You saw Lilo and Stitch. How was that business?
I did. So yet another in Disney's baffling trend of turning their old animated classics into live action movies, and this is easily one of the best of the bunch. I'd say this is this actually might be the best of the live actions I've seen previously. Little Mermaid, I think, or no, Jungle Book was the best of the ones I'd seen. Lion King was okay. I mean, the whole reason, it's questionable why we need these anyway, because I think going 3D Pixar style would be a better approach if they really want to revisit these old stories. I don't even think they should remake them. There's no point in remaking them.
Yeah, like the Lion King one's biggest problem was it was a scene-for-scene, act-for-act remake of the original.
Right.
It's like, why even bother doing that? But then people complain that they changed things. So it's kind of a... That's why I don't like the practice in general, is that it's just sort of a... Well, you're screwed if you do more, and you're screwed if you stay in your lane. And
that's
what's the point?
That's what they really did with Lilo and Stitch. They stuck, unlike Snow White and some of the other recent ones, they stick very close to the source material, the original animated movie. And I think in this case that benefits it. That's actually, typically I would say, what's the point? What's the point of covering it if you're going to sound just like the original? But in this case, it probably helps because it gives, no pun intended, a little bit more depth to the whole Ohana thing. The Mailani, what's her name? Maya.
Where is it?
Let me get her name here. It's funny. Rotten Tomatoes cast and crew doesn't even list Lilo's name.
Yeah, their order's effed up, man.
It really is. I mean, I think it's by how many other things they've done, but still.
Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not a costume design. I can't find it.
Maya Kealoha.
Okay.
Maya Kealoha. She's excellent. She's really, really good. There's zero notes on her performance. She's adorable and funny, and for her age, able to do those reactions, especially to something that is invisible, right? For when you're having to act against a CGI character.
Sure.
She does a great job. I think they did a surprisingly... I mean, they did a great job with casting everybody in this. It's funny that we just watched the franchise, because one of the dudes from the franchise actually plays one of the aliens that's sent to Earth to retrieve Stitch. Billy Magnuson is the guy.
Oh, I love him. He's great.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great. And believe me, when you... Please don't sleep on the franchise. He and Richard E. Grant are the two best things about the franchise.
Oh man, And I like that guy a lot. He's great.
Yeah, he
I
is
loved
great.
him in Game Night. He's awesome. He's a good actor.
So, it's a well done but unnecessary live action remake from Disney, but still one of their better, well, in my opinion, their best one that they've done so far. And probably the only one so far that raises an argument that these are a good idea. But
Okay.
But,
yes, the audience score sure seems to agree with you. It's in the high 90s. So
it's funny how audience is all the way at 93, but critic review. And I looked at some of the critical reviews this morning and like, yeah, okay, that's a valid argument. I don't know if it means docking it as heavily as it is. I think I like Matuba. That little furry thing is an alien. Never seen it. I don't have kids.
Oh, you don't need to have had kids to see it.
You don't need, exactly. Yes.
Sometimes stuff's fun even when you're not you don't have to have kids to enjoy a good animated film. I mean, the thing about this movie, though, or about the original, is it's not one of those fairy tale movies that I think is the problem. If you're trying to make Snow White or Cinderella or something like that, you're asking for a whole lot of issues that you don't need because animation's the more whimsical way to tell that story. Lilo and Stitch could have always been a live action thing because it's like grounded. It's people and an alien, and it's, it's not the same.
Exactly. Easily, easily the a better reason to do it, or a better way to do it than if it was some of those things that are, like you said, based on fairy tales that already have other source material. Do you do your live action based on the Disney thing, the Disney adaptation of the source material, or do you go back to the original? This one had a better reason to do it. I did not succumb to pressure and buy a popcorn bucket, $40 Stitch popcorn bucket, even though it came with a plush Stitch holding half a coconut filled with popcorn. But I did buy the hoodie blanket, and it's upstairs, and I love it. It's
nice.
Adorable.
Is it decent? Like an okay one? It's not.
It's great. It's actually big enough that a tall schmuck like me can use it as a blanket. And
that's rare.
So you turn it. It's wide, right? So you've got the head in the middle, and then the sides are wide. So that's like 6 feet plus, I think.
Yeah.
But if you put the head on your head and wear it like a cape, being 6 feet doesn't go to the floor, and I can put my hands in the sides and wrap it around myself, and it's super, super soft. Holy cow.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
I can't believe that. They're usually such trash, these things, but that sounds like it's all right.
The cats love it too. So I get a cat in my lap when I have the Stitch blanket on, as long as the face isn't pointed towards me.
My favorite Dr. Seuss book was Cat in the Lap.
The Cat in the Lap.
So
yes.
good. It's amazing. Underrated. Well, that's great. I kind of want to see Lilo and Stitch. Of all of these remakes, it's interesting to me. It also made the most money of these remakes. It did really well over the weekend. So
it really did. Won the weekend, surprisingly. But I think with something like this, it's a lot easier to say, let's take the whole family and go see it, as opposed to, like you, maybe a lot of people haven't seen Dead Reckoning, or I can't remember what the previous one was, and they feel like they'd be lost. And yeah, you definitely want to see those two before you see this.
The last one I saw was the one where Henry Cavill cocks his arms in the bathroom. Yeah. I don't know what that one was called.
Yeah.
Don't remember.
Is that Ghost Protocol?
Fallout, maybe?
Fallout. I think it's Fallout, yeah.
And he cocks his arms, and then his pocket disappears because they CGI'd something in there.
That's right, yes.
I think it's Fallout, yeah. And I like Fallout a lot. It's not that I didn't like these movies. You know what happened? The pandemic derailed me. It made me go,
yes.
Oh, I don't know where I am.
It derailed them, too, because they were supposed to do Mission Impossible. They were going to record both halves of Dead Reckoning together, which is why it's Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Final Reckoning. But because of the pandemic, they're like, all right, well, we did one. Let's work on, staying isolated, just do all the post-processing on that, and we'll film Dead Reckoning or Final Reckoning afterwards.
So originally the plan was this would be their last movie, but it was a 2-parter half.
Exactly. Okay. And they were going to film both parts together, and it was going to be a Part 1, Part 2.
All right, maybe it all worked out for them in the end. Who knows?
Yeah.
It also did really well. There was like overall between it and Stitch, it was like a record-breaking weekend for the year. So
yeah, and the scores for Mission Impossible shot up too. So a high 70s turned into low 80s for critics and high 80s for audiences. So
now our next bit of news made me record scratch this morning.
I was wondering. I put that in there and said, all right, what's Scott going to say to this?
Yeah, it threw me. I saw it and went, What?
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
it up. So
Yeah.
I don't even have a good sound to play on the show for that. So what? Tell me what this. I'll let you explain the whole thing. What is
Sure.
that?
Look at this.
A
I got
subpoena?
a subpoena to testify. Look
Holy
at that.
shit! Who
I've been
brought it to you? Was it
subpoenaed.
like a door server?
No, it came in the mail. I was hoping to get one of those. You've been served. You know, you get one of those like you always see in TV shows and movies, like where they pretend there's something else. Hi, got a delivery for Brian Ibbett. Oh yeah, what I get? You've been served.
Yeah, I would
But,
I would have loved to hear about that, but I guess they just do it in the mail.
There's no reason. And so I'm looking at this thing and I see the name of the people versus the state of Colorado versus, and then a name here. I don't know if I can say the name, but, and I'm like, I don't know who this is. I have zero idea who this is. It says, you're hereby commanded to attend and give testimony at the time and place specified in the subpoena. There is no information on the page that I got saying, you know, like, here's what the trial is about. Here's what the case is.
How do you know it's legit? Is there a way to confirm that it's legit?
Tina looked at it, and she deals with these a lot because of her work. She's gotten a subpoena herself, but she also deals with these a lot.
Wild.
And the offense date is on here, March 23rd, 2024, a little over a year ago.
Okay.
And that's kind of when it hit me as to what this is.
Oh shit.
Do you remember a year or so ago, Scott? I was Tina and I were coming back from a mystery date, and I was at a red light, and a car zipped by us through the red light next to us. Went through the red light, speeding like crazy. Did not make the turn onto the entrance to the highway and crashed into the guardrail. And then we caught up to it, pulled over, called 911, sent the cam footage, etc.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember that. Clearly, we have the case now dealing with that.
And I looked at the date. That is exactly the date. So basically, they want me to come in and say, yes, that's my footage.
Oh, because you provided the footage. That's right.
I provided the footage, and I'll probably still have to testify that here's what happened. They flew past me between me and the car to my left in two connected lanes or two, adjacent lanes. They did, and their defense could easily say, well, did you actually see them crash? Could have been two cars, one that zipped by you and another one that crashed. And I'd have to say, it's possible that there are two white Dodge Chargers that.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Yeah. So that's going to be late June, 2 days before my big bike ride. I'm going to.
Perfect.
I'm going to be subpoenaed to testify. At least it's not the day before, but
you should show up in your
in my tight little bib. With
the old nipple protectors.
Why is he squishing? Nut butter. He's got some of that nut butter in there.
Got a little chode butter. Don't worry about it.
A little chode butter.
So hold on a second. So if do you know if this is a closed hearing or is it an open court thing, or do you know?
No idea. And the letter that came with it, which also none of this explained what the court case was. So. But they say investigators and attorneys representing our office, the police department, and the defendant may call on you to discuss this case. You don't have to talk to anybody about the case unless you desire to do so. This decision is entirely yours, and any failure to respect your wishes should be reported to the court or to the district attorney. So I might get calls from who knows, telling me, asking me questions about the case and my video or whatever. I also can choose to be placed on call by contacting the district attorney. And if I am placed on call, I do not need to appear in court for the trial unless I receive a call from the office. So it could be a matter of like saying, yeah, you know what? Let me know if you need me.
Yeah.
If you feel like you can't do this without my assistance, then that's fine. But
you kind of want to go, though, right? I kind of
want to go because it's keeping a hazardous driver off the streets potentially.
Yeah,
so.
No, that's a good thing. Plus, that's just the process. I did this once, but it was in a closed room with one attorney, and it was boring as shit. It was lame. It wasn't like Law and Order. There wasn't a crowd. There was no,
Yeah.
crow's nest thing full of people. Any of that. No judge was even there. It was just
Oh, really?
It was a
Okay.
lady with the shorthand recorder stuff.
Yeah.
The attorney that was grilling me. It was a business thing that I had nothing to do with, and it was short, and I was out of there. But it was lame. Yours sounds like it has some teeth, so
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if I'll, I certainly don't want to be there for the whole trial. I just want them to pull me in, and which I don't think I can because it could sway my testimony if, if I listen to everybody's testimony before my own. I'm hoping it's one of these. We have a surprise witness, Your Honor. I'd like to look behind me and coming through the doors right now. And here comes Brian Ibbett in his, the Riddler suit that I wore to Nerdtacular a few years ago. Right, exactly.
That'd be great. I would love that. And you'll obviously, when this is all over with, you can tell us more. But
oh, absolutely, yes, yes. And I'll probably, if anything happens, if somebody calls me to discuss the case, as long as they say, now you can't say any of this to anybody before the trial, then I won't. But if I can, then I will. And talk about the process because, I open this thing up and I'm like. What? A subpoena?
This is what I hear when I think about it. This is what it's going to be.
Me, the defendant.
Brian Ibbett made people drink out of tiny cups, and one of those cups was vinegar. Is he guilty?
Meet the plaintiff. He's into this shit. The joke's on you.
His name is Travis, and he has a blue beard last time we checked. All right. Well done. That's awesome. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, should be fun.
Even though it can be a little disruptive. You got other plans.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a really good point. I might have to miss TMS for this.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what time of day it is? Did they tell you?
8 a.m. So, yes. Yeah. Well, the trial starts at 8 a.m. I mean, I can't imagine they're saying, you'll probably be on somewhere coming about 9:15, you'll probably be on at 9:20. It's like, no, I got to be there for the full day, and my full day is going to be probably sitting in a room until they call on me to step in and give my testimony.
What day is it?
So, June 26th.
Oh, I think I might be gone that day anyway.
Okay.
That's
because you've got
concert.
A thing. Yeah. You're flying out. Oh, that might work out perfectly.
Yeah, we'll double check. We'll figure it out. But cool. Brian now in the legal system, and we'll let you guys know how he poops out the other side. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Did it freak you out a little bit when you first got it, though? You're like, what did they do?
Oh, absolutely did. Yeah. Yes, because the first thing is subpoena to appear or testify. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't like that feeling.
What did I do? Yeah.
Because it's not... You and I are both law-abiding citizens, right?
We absolutely are, yes.
But it's possible I was like, did I thump a melon in a supermarket I wasn't supposed to or something? I always think of am I up on all the things? Do I get it? Is it illegal now for me to make fun of a guy's red hat? You know what I mean? You don't know anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Call me into court for it.
What is going to be this? What did I do? What did I do with this innocuous little thing? Did I have somebody in my car Ubering that,
Never know.
He touched me in an inappropriate way.
Touched me in my swimsuit area. Well, anyway.
Rainbow Bright says, have you ever been asked me if I've ever been on a jury. I've been asked to do jury duty several times. I've never said no, but in all cases, either the situation got settled out of court after I was there waiting in the picking room, the choosing, the sorting hat room. You're going to be on the jury.
That's right. Yeah, no, the same thing happened to me. I've been called multiple times. They always either get canceled or I get dismissed. And the reason I got dismissed last time is I seemed to know too much about the internet. And they said...
Oh, that's right, because it was the Zoom one where you were the only clear...
Yeah. Everybody who got let go were people with good sound and nice arranged film. Everybody who stayed, they all had half their face cut off.
Yes, right. Blur background.
Yeah, and they were obviously on the wrong mic and all that stuff. So I think it had to do with some internet case that we were all too smart for.
This guy knows too much.
It was pretty funny. Right. Anyway, we got a call from Chuck Byers, who's always out there buying Chucks. That's his job. And he has this to say. Let's see what he says. Here we go.
Hey, Yins guys. Chuck Byers here. I'm leaving a supermarket, and I have a situation and a question to pose to you. So a little while ago, I was at the supermarket. Young family comes in, teenagers and a mom. One of the kids grabs a Ready Whip canister opens it up, takes a big hit off it, sucks down half the can. They throw it in the cart, and the mom looks at me and she's like, "Oh, sorry about that." And we're whatever. And I'm like, "Yeah, I was brought up. You don't. It's not yours until you buy it." So, looking for your opinion. That's mine. I don't touch any of my food. I don't open it until it's in the cart and on the way to the car. So just wondering what you think about that.
All right. It sounds like they're sawing wood behind him.
I think there's like cars piling up, honking behind him because he decided to stop in the middle of the street and
all just leaning on it. I have
That's
a very
funny.
easy answer to this. My mom used to eat grapes before we got to the pay thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was grapes. It was always grapes. But she would weigh them first and then make sure she paid for the amount.
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Because back then they weren't weighing them back then, except they were in bags and they were set weights. It wasn't the thing you do now with self-checkout and the weighing things and please put your items in the bag. All that stuff was not there. So we had to do it the old-fashioned way. Other than that, though, that never happened growing up. And we had kind of a similar rule. If you're going to buy it, then you buy it. You can't have it until you buy it. So I'm with Chuck.
Because I'm with him too. I don't know if I would have gone so far as to reprimand the woman. I was going to make the joke, okay, Karen, but somebody in the chat, and that was going to be a joke for me, but Rufus T. Cat in the chat room said, "What a Karen." I wholeheartedly agree with you, Chuck, and I feel exactly the same. Even the grape thing, I've seen people who do that. And we get our grapes by the same situation you're saying, bagged and already put
they're already priced,
prices on
right?
it. They're already priced.
Yeah.
But that said, it's not. So you don't know what's going to happen. Somebody could one of your family could all of a sudden have a medical issue, and you guys need to just leave your cart and say, whatever, we got to go. And then all that stuff gets put back on the shelf, and here goes somebody with a Ready Whip canister that's been in the kid's mouth.
That's a weird one too. Okay, so I have two problems with it. One is what you just described is absolutely correct. But also, why are you letting your kid take a Ready Whip can of any sort and just shoot that shit down his throat? What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's not good for him.
Exactly.
I don't know what's in there.
You can do that at home, but even then, it's like, I mean, who does it? You don't do that. You don't you haven't picked up a Ready Whip can with the spring. You go, and fill your mouth with whipped cream.
Like, what am I, college?
What am I at the end of a porn?
Exactly. Am I some kind of college kid trying to impress a girl at a party? Like, why are you even doing that in a store?
Oh, I don't think they're huffing. I think, or you're not implying huffing.
No.
Right?
Just being being a dope.
Whippets, I guess is what it's called. Whippets.
Yeah. And is that a thing you used to be able? It doesn't have the same compression tech anymore, so you
I have
can't
no
get high
idea.
anymore.
Yeah.
But people used to get high on that stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that kid may have a problem.
Right, exactly.
Well, anyway, thanks, Chuck.
I'm with the two of you. Should not do it. And you know what? Probably good on you for saying something. Maybe that'll keep them from doing it in the future, but still, it probably won't. And they'll talk about you under their breath for the rest of their shopping trip.
Yep.
I can't believe that guy butted into our Ready Whip ritual.
And then he'll do it again just to spite you, Chuck. He'll just put it in his mouth and do it again.
But I'm with you 100%, Chuck. Absolutely.
Yeah. Buy it, then eat it. Okay, everybody? That's the rule.
Right.
If you're going to the store with me, that's the rule. I don't know about other people.
Yeah.
Evan wrote in. He has a text about a question about trivially Travis time. When
I
Travis
know. I can't wait
on.
to talk about this.
So this is interesting. He says, when you guys play trivia with Travis, you guys always say, quote, no reason not to go one lower. But there is no good reason, or sorry.
No,
but
he says there is good reason.
Yeah, sorry, there is a good reason, and it drives me nuts. He says, for example, Brian says he can name it in 3. Then Scott says he can name it in 2. The reason for Brian not to say he can do it in 1 is because if Scott gets it wrong, he gets 3 clues instead of just the 1. Is he onto something here, or
he's not? Because I'd still so as I understand what he's saying, and I had to read this several times to understand what he's saying. So because I say I can do it in 1 doesn't take away me getting a chance to do it in 3 if Scott gets it wrong. So the way Travis would do it is he'd give me the 1, I'd get it wrong, he'd give it to Scott would get it wrong, and then he'd go back to me because my initial wager was 3.
Right.
But if Scott were to say, nope, I'll do it in 2, and then I say, okay, I have to do it. I have to try to do it in 1, and we both get it wrong. I'm not going to get the option to do it in 3.
Right.
But Travis will, whatever wagers you've made, he will honor those and say, okay, you initially said 3, Scott said 2, then you said 1. If you guys don't, if you miss it and Scott misses it, you still get your original wager of 3.
I think that's the thing. I think that's where Evan lost the thread, and I'm not.
I think so.
Not giving you shit,
doesn't,
Evan, but I don't think you understand that the rule that Travis plays by that is in play every time. Now, if it wasn't, you'd have a point, right? Like I get what he means.
If me going for 1 eliminated my ability to get it in 3, and maybe we need, TV's Travis. I don't see him in chat right now, but. This is the way I've always understood it. And I think we've just never gotten to that stage because you've gotten it in 2 when I would have gotten a third, or when I would have gotten a third clue and a chance at the end.
Right,
but
TV's
Travis, when you hear this, please chime in and maybe give us a speak pipe or whatever it is called, text audio dealy. And just let us know.
Speak pipe. I like that. Speak pipe.
Speak pipe. Send us up the speak pipe, and it should be a new service. Speak pipe.
No, I want to change it. Voicecast.app is lame. I want speakpipe.com or whatever. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Travis, let us know. We'd love to hear what you have to say about it.
That's the way I've understood it working. So. By the way, SpeakPipe, receive voice messages from your podcast listeners. There's a reason that I thought about SpeakPipe because it's a real thing for podcast listeners to send messages.
Never even heard of this. Never even heard of it. So what is it? Speakpipe.com?
Yeah, speakpipe.com.
Speakpipe. I love it. Yeah, there it is. This is kind of that thing. It's a competing
It looks
deal.
exactly like not exactly, but it does the same thing as the one that we've described.
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah.
Straightforward. All right. Well, SpeakPipe, good. We gave you a free
Good luck.
thing.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
And then I have just a quick announcement for those in the Denver Tadpole, but really anybody even nearby or who'd want to do this. At some point in July, the Moors, members of the Denver Tadpole, who were very good friends with JJ, still of course are good friends with Renee. They went out to the funeral, and Renee gave them JJ's entire collection of board games, and we played a couple of them yesterday. I'll bring that up when we get Dan later because I want to talk to him about those.
That's awesome.
But we've got JJ's full collection of board games, the ones that they didn't want to keep for the girls, obviously. And we're going to be doing a board game day in honor of JJ sometime in July in Denver, in North Denver, at the Moore's house. They've got a really good setup where we can actually have 3 games going on at once in different nearby rooms. So we'll have something set up. So keep an eye on the Denver Tadpole Meetup Facebook group, or if you're not a member of that, shoot me a DM and I'll get you some information so you can potentially join this game day if you're nearby and you want to join us.
That's awesome. Yeah, JJ was a big tabletop fan. He loved that stuff. So
he really was, and we played his favorite game over the weekend. A game that he has all the different expansions to. We just played the base game, and we'll talk about that later on today when we have Dan on.
Very nice.
This game.
Very cool. All right, keep your eyes out for that. That reminds me, somebody pinged me via Discord just now saying, hey, you should also remind us what we're doing for Superman here locally. I don't know yet.
Oh, yeah.
When does Superman open? Soon, July 10th. Well, we're going to do it. We're going to make a thing happen locally. I don't know what, but just be, I'll let you know. We got time.
Cool.
I don't even think you can buy tickets for that movie yet. So
no, you can't. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm waiting for the movies that I need to make sure I get tickets for.
Yep. And then when's Fantastic Four? Is that,
late July 20th? No, 19th or 26th. I can't remember. It's tickets for that won't go on sale. Oh, here we go. I'm looking at the wrong calendar.
That's going to be a hell of a month.
July 24th, I believe.
Pioneer Day here in Salt Lake City. Fantastic.
Oh, there you go.
Where people use fireworks twice a year and the rest of the country doesn't. I hate it.
Double your chances for wildfires, folks.
Have your dogs be extra annoyed in the month of July. All right. Well done, everybody. This is good stuff. Lots of stuff to talk about. We do need to do just a little bit of news. And today's news is brought to you by
Daily Music Headlines. Today, you'll hear about the AMAs, which happened last night. Billie Eilish broke Taylor Swift's longstanding record of winning the record of the year by beating her. And Swift, even though she was nominated for like 6 things, didn't win any of them. Is the Taylor Swift era over?
Oh no,
it definitely isn't. But
the era.
Find out about that and get the new album by Private Function, which is magically scented like Gwyneth Paltrow's candle. More about that. Yes,
Very
exactly.
curious about that.
Yes, an entire album that sounds like Gwyneth Paltrow's Nethers.
Wow. I mean,
Yes.
Private Function. That works.
Private Function, exactly. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
It'd be great if it was all Coldplay covers. It would be perfect.
It's all Chris Martin stuff.
Exactly.
That'd be amazing.
Yes. You'll want to be consciously uncoupled with that record.
That's right.
Find out more, go listen to today's episode, and subscribe at dailymusicheadlines.com. And we have a new Discord for the show, and we've got a Reddit page, which I think I need to put a link for the Discord on the Reddit, so it's a good place for people to find it. But
There you go.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm going to lunch with your buddy Hammond on
oh, nice.
Friday. We going? It's this Friday, right, Hammond? Kim's in Chicago, so I have no idea what's going on this week, but I think that's
That's
for sure.
right. Yeah, she's playing with the raccoons.
That's right. Rolling around with raccoons, eating deep dish pizza, and sending me memes for some reason.
Nice. Hope she gets to go to a White Sox game while she's there.
Oh, that'd be great. Maybe the Pope will be there.
I'm sure the Pope will visit in Chicago, pick up some beef,
Hey.
pick up some cheesesteak, or no, that's Philly. Pick up some Chicago beef sandwiches.
There you go. Or one of those hot dogs they're famous for.
I mean, the bear was Chicago. What do they call it? That's not a cheesesteak with the bear.
Oh, I don't
it's
know.
Not Philly, but isn't the bear?
It's still a
Mr. Beef,
like a Chicago style beef.
it's just an Italian beef sandwich. Yeah, I got it before anybody in the chat room yelled at me. Right before Lesarge.
Yeah, I can confirm. I watched that pop after you said it. So go
Italian beef sandwiches, no cheese.
No more subpoenas to Brian about when he said
no
a thing.
cheese whiz on the Italian beef sandwich.
Ugh. Doesn't sound good. I know that there's a way to make that right, but just saying it's cheese whiz ruins it for me.
I know.
Wrecks it.
I've been doing so much stuff with the Blackstone Grill. Been making pancakes, and I did an egg scramble with potatoes and sausage the other morning. But the one I'm like we're doing smash burgers tonight. But the thing I'm really excited to make is a cheesesteak sandwich, and I can't do cheese whiz. I've got to do the white cheddar. Sorry,
I'm same. We
peppers, grill those peppers and onions, get them good and caramelized, get the beef on there super thin sliced, and then the cheese, slap that onto a hoagie.
I'm starving now. That sounds so. I wasn't hungry before. I am now. That sounds great.
I know, it sounds so good right now, doesn't it?
Yeah,
wow.
It's too early for it even. Too early for a cheese sandwich.
It's too early for a cheese sandwich.
Well, here's your quick story.
Okay, yes.
Paleontologists have discovered a 506 million year old predator. This is a fun little science story for you. Paleontologists at the Manitoba Museum and Royal Ontario Museum, or ROM. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. It's a great abbreviation.
I'm sure they named it after the other character in...
after the Space Knight.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, no, I was thinking of...
the Ferengi.
No. Tron. The other guy was Rom.
Tron. Yeah.
I couldn't think of Tron for some
I
reason.
think somebody needs to do a piece of artwork featuring Rom the Space Knight, Rom from Deep Space Nine, and Rom from Tron. All
all
at
together,
a Rom
hanging
convention.
out at a Rom exactly.
Or no, they're saying when was the last time we got together? I can't remember.
Oh,
because then it's a memory.
Yeah, it's not exactly. No, you're right. They could watch Pac-Man boot up the ROM test and everything.
Right.
That'd be great. Well, anyway, they have discovered a remarkable new 506 million year old predator from the Burgess Shale of Canada. The results are announced in a paper in the journal Royal Society Open Science. Masura Fentoni. Why is their last name? I guess it's
because it's a species.
Shouldn't it all be caps though?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know why that. I've seen that before where it's like, I feel like those should be capitalized, but no, it's like a genus or species or phylum or whatever
Sure.
it is. Then they.
Oh, you
The
said
first- the
phylum.
first-
It made me think of philo dough, and it makes me hungry again.
You really are hungry.
I'm
aren't
starving.
You?
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be hungry at 10:02. What the hell's wrong with me? Anyway, it's the size of your index finger. It's how big this thing is. It has 3 eyes,
Yeah.
spiny joint claws, circular mouth lined with teeth, and a body with swimming flaps along its side. I love a good swimming flap.
Swimming flaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie, whatever. Mermaids. These traits show it to be part of an extinct group known as the radiodonts. Oh, they were so good in the 70s and the 80s.
It was really catchy. Had a really good beat. Saw them on American Bandstand, and they killed it.
Let's see if they have a photo here. I want to see this thing up close.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do.
I
Yeah.
don't see anything. What's the fun of having a story like this with no photo of the
No
thing?
kidding. Oh well, Science Daily.
I mean, who
We're
can trust
boring.
them? We're boring here at Science Daily. No photos of any sort. Well, that's not true. They have others. Oh, no. They have none of their articles have photos. What are we supposed to
Lame.
just believe you
Lame.
guys? All right.
No kidding.
Well, anyway, good luck to them. That's exciting news. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Dan will be here. We're going to talk board games. We're going to see what Brian's been playing as well. And I don't know if we'll have a medical question or not. Maybe we will. I don't know.
Oh, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows what will come up with Dan? But that's all coming up after this song selection Brian brought. What do you got?
I did. Let's go to. By the way, I just sent you a photo or an image that was posted elsewhere of what they think this Mazura Fentoni.
Oh, look at
like.
that. So this is like a illustration, but if this is what it looks
Yeah.
like, good Lord.
3 eyes is so like that already kind of freaks me out.
Yeah, how'd you like to find that in your grilled cheese sandwich? Good
And it
Lord.
likes to swim up your penis. All right. Anyway, LA Punks Empired have a brand new video for their latest single. It's called Blood on the Ceiling. These guys rock. And I think we've had, have we ever had Empired on the show before? Played one of their indie songs? I'm not sure if we have or not. But this is streaming via Hey Ever Records. Let's see, any sort of connections, stuff that you know from these guys? Not really, but they are about to, or no, they're in the middle of their tour. You can see them next on the 31st at Bobby V's in Anaheim, California, and then they're shooting up north to San Francisco and Costa Mesa. So if you like Empired, make sure to go check them out. Here's the song Blood on the Ceiling.
This is the blood bank. If you don't have malaria, hepatitis, or TB, we'd like to have a pint of your blood.
We're gonna go shoot a little skeet.
And we returned. Who was that one more time?
That band featuring members with swimming flaps and 3 eyes is called Empired. That's their brand new single, Blood on the Ceiling.
Nice. It's funny that clip I played was about giving blood.
I know it's very very well timed.
Had no idea. That was
Yeah.
news to me. All right, we are going to let's see. I got to do this a little bit different.
Yeah, so now we get his audio in here. We got a little bit of a new thing we're doing, folks,
Yeah.
audio wise. So give us a
So
give us a minute.
Dan, I know you're listening. I'm going to send you something, okay, and then you're going to click it. And if it doesn't work, I'll go back to Discord and just call you directly. So this is just a test to see if this will work for Dan. So Dan, I'm sending you a thing. It's directly to you. I could have put it in our group, I guess, but I didn't. Anyway, that's on its way to you in a private message. When you get that, click that. Let's see if it lets me add you to this call. We'll do this much more gracefully next time if it works. If it doesn't, I'll just call you in Discord. You'll hear Brian. We'll hear you. Oh,
We'll
look at
figure it
that.
all out.
Here we go. Oh, I'm at the limit of guess. Hello. Hi,
Oh.
Dan. Oh, he's on a weird audio deal. I hear him
Yep.
being a little crunchy. Dan, are you there? If it doesn't work, I can call you in Discord. It's okay. Not a big deal. Are you there? Do we hear you? We'll give him another second. Oh, he's muted now.
Okay.
I can see him muting. Now he's working on it. He's Dan, you there?
Yeah. So
Oh, unmute yourself there, Dan. You're muted. I see your green line moving like you're talking, but
interesting.
yeah, you muted yourselves or himself. Is there a way to?
Now?
Oh, how about
there
now?
we
How
go.
about now? Hello,
How about now?
hello. Oh, I hear me. I hear me. How does that work? How does that work?
And I bet I hear me too.
How about me?
I hear you. But I also hear me.
Okay, let me figure this out here.
Let's. I love it.
It's all right. It's all right. This is how we fix things. This is by trying them and then adjusting.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, we got a backup plan.
Right.
Which is all anyone can really ask for.
Exactly.
All right, we'll continue buzzing for a moment. We'll see what happens. And I can have up to 32 people in here if I pay. Oh, I hear myself again.
Oh, yep, because I'm putting something in here. I don't have any sort of things. Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a virtual device thing happening?
I have four inputs, and it won't let me in on any of them.
Oh, it won't let you change it to.
Well, I'm changing to 3 different things. I've got browser, communications, microphone, and line in, and every time I use all of them, most of them aren't working very well.
Try. Oh, I see. You're using your real tech and line in right now, which is probably why we're hearing ourselves. So if you change that to just the mic, what happens?
Let me try that. Hold on one second. I think this is where I get the fuzz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that is where he gets the fuzz.
Oh, but we could... Oh, and you don't even get... You just get fuzz and nothing else.
Nothing else. No voice.
Yeah, and let me tell you, it's mostly because...
Mostly because he's muted. That'll do that every time.
And everything else. It's very strange.
How about now? Oh, I still hear myself.
Oh.
I'm going to call you back on Discord. Hang on. All right. Cool. That didn't work.
So now, do you need me to hop in? I mean, I'll be in Discord as well, right? Because otherwise, I won't hear him.
You'll hear him too. But it'll be in a different group.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I'll just send him a voice call. That's why the backup should be fine. Hello, Dan. Are you there? Hello, Dan. I think he may have muted himself with all the switching around.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Guys. It is what it is,
It is what it is.
Maybe if I'd have warned him.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yes. You called me directly. Is that right? Yeah. So, Dan, you should hear me. I mean, I could have called you with the Brian one, but he would just ignore it. It doesn't.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
It wouldn't matter anyway. I should be able to hear him. But
that's true, actually. I could just ignore and not answer.
Yeah. And I don't hear him at all yet. But that might just mean I made him switch around input, so maybe Discord farted. And Windows, let me tell you something about Windows and its sound system. All right? This is no direct bash at anyone that works at Microsoft or Bill Gates, the founder, or anybody in between.
Sure.
But you've never really worked out your sound system very well. It's a bit of a mess. So sometimes when there's like a slight Windows update, all your sources get all goofed, and I don't understand it. Oh, hi, Dan.
I'm hearing a microphone getting rubbed. There he is.
Hey, what's going on?
You sound great.
Yeah, you sound real good.
Oh, I apologize, but like I said, about this rig is so old. And it's such a weird rig that I've got a soundboard and I have all sorts of weird jiggering going on, that I've got things plugged in all over the place just so I can record my show, which is always why it's weird when I try to connect to different places. So I'm sorry.
No, I feel bad for sending you a thing without warning, so it's kind of our fault. But this will work.
I always forget. Sometimes I forget to pull up Discord when I'm ready, waiting for a call, and I'm like, oh, wait, he can't call me because I don't have Discord up.
Sure. Right. Well, but you can hear Brian okay, right, when he talks?
You hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Oh, the sweet melodic voices of Brian Ibbett.
Yeah, goes right to your soul. Hey, can I ask you a question about this? I have a twofold question. So the FDA comes out and says, hey, we're not going to do vaccines for anybody older than 60, unless they have a specific underlying thing the doctor recommends it for.
I think those are specific vaccines. I got to look into which ones those are, but I don't know if it's any. There's not a whole lot that are only. But I'm sorry, I should have let you answer your question.
So I'm not sure either. I think it's exclusive to COVID as far as I know. And I don't know if it affects the combo one that everybody was raving about, where it's like COVID and flu in the same shot.
Right, that's coming out very, very soon. I think that was supposed to be readily available sometime later this year, and I don't know if it's supposed to be because right now you're gathering all the strains for the flu for last year to start making the new one. The same thing with COVID. So the COVID vaccine is an interesting thing. Now, got to remember, I'm a certified immunizer, so everybody's got to relax because everyone's going to get mad at me now. So and I'm not going to offend anybody. Everyone's going to be mad at me now. Now, there are people that will get like 3 COVID vaccines a year. Now, that's pretty much not doing you any good. Now, what we're looking at as far as over 60 and things like the COVID vaccine is benefit over risk. Now, remember, during COVID, all the vaccines, this was a worldwide crisis. We needed to do what we could. Normally, things like vaccines are, especially newer vaccines, they're all in testing for 10, maybe 20. Even like when polio came out, I think it was like a good 10 years before we even had a vaccine before the polio vaccine, which was huge. Yep. Now, things like that are generally in testing for a long time. We had to do as fast a testing as we could and got it out. Now, what that means is not everything's going to be perfect, which is not great, but hey, we probably saved a vast amount of the world's population by doing this. Mm-hmm. Now we've got things like other vaccines, because as viruses mutate and as we get used to mutate, that's kind of part of the whole human body, is as we get used to things and with antibodies and everything, naturally things get a little bit easier. So COVID, obviously, now there are some cases that are pretty nasty, but I think we would all agree that COVID is not what it was 5 years ago. Yeah, now COVID is also
easier to catch and less, what's the word? Someone told me the other day. It's easier to catch now, but it's way less hardcore. Yeah, because
right. Like we're not getting the kind of the severity is going to be lessened for the most part. Now, what you also got to remember is coronavirus is not just something new. Coronavirus has been around since the Ice Age. Like these are things that you would see that we've tested for or kind of treated for years and years and years. However, we just got one of these really weird strains that came around, and then kind of those strains are kind of with the different mutations have gone away. Now, the problem with things like it's not a problem. Just bear with me here. My wording may be, but I think you guys know what I mean. The problem with things like flu vaccine and even the new coronavirus, the COVID vaccine, is that we're trying to predict. Now, we're looking at the top strains of the last year, and that generally works pretty good for flu because you're still getting 20 to 30% a lot of times in your that are coming up in the next year that are the strains that are available. Yep. From everything that I've seen, as far as because I do some of these CEs almost every week where they have like a COVID update and stuff like that. Some of these strains that are coming out that are just evolving now are only 2% of the strains that are seen in existence as far as sickness goes are what's being treated in the vaccine. Now that's still. I use the word significant. To me, it's significant. When it comes to statistics, it's not significant. But to me, you're still saving lives and saving some of the things that are out there. But you're not getting any benefits by taking a shot like this more than once a year for your immune, because they're not coming out with like a million different strains, like different variations of the COVID vaccine. So that's why putting it together with a flu vaccine makes sense so that you can get your booster once a year. Now, as far as things like 60 and over, the only thing I can think of, Johnson, is that we're probably looking at risk versus benefits, because you got to remember, even a the unattenuated, which is the dead vaccine, which is basically all these things are, I wouldn't say all. I apologize for all. Most of these things are unattenuated vaccines, which all they do is they give your body the response. That's what flu is. It's an unattenuated vaccine. You don't get the flu. Now, things like the nasal spray is a live attenuated vaccine, which you can get the flu. And some of these other vaccines that we're getting, I'm pretty sure varicella there are some varicella vaccines that are live. Now, you put a person at 60 plus. Now, I know we're all getting older.
Yeah, we are.
The cold hard truth is that our body doesn't work as well after 60. 60 is the new 50 or whatever, but we're still looking at a body that is we're doing the best we can to keep up with everything. Right. So giving someone a live attenuated vaccine after 60 may not be the greatest thing, and the risk doesn't outweigh the benefits. That's the thing. Like, you're looking at evidence-based medicine and risk versus benefit in a lot of these things. Again, like I say, COVID, the risk versus benefit 5 years ago was huge. Mm-hmm. Like, the benefit was gigantic. Right now, with some of these other things, that's the only thing I can think of. I haven't seen a whole lot of that. Like I said, I do a lot of continuing education all through the year just to keep up with a lot of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I talk way too much. I apologize, boys. It's been good to see you guys.
No, it's been great to see you. Yeah, this is good. This is what I was wondering. I was wondering about this. Exactly what you got into there was my question, because there's always more going on than just some outrage on a tweet that somebody put out there, and I wanted to get kind of the skinny on it. I want to get boosters when they make sense to get a booster. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Just like I want to get a flu shot every year to eliminate those, the worst of that. And then people in situations where they're immunocompromised or otherwise, need it.
Absolutely.
I want to be able to get what they want to get.
You're saving other lives by getting these shots as well. Like, people forget that as well. But again, like when it's advisable is once a year. For sure, for a lot of those things. And I don't really think there's any sort of benefit to getting more than you're only, because there are things like injection shot reactions and side effects to other things like that in vaccines.
Yeah. Well,
Brian, can I bring up something for Brian real quick?
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
So, Brian, do you remember? I think I brought this up a while ago because you kind of brought it up within the last few minutes. Do you remember what I said about King Phillip came over from Germany swimming? Remember that?
No.
What is this?
No, I don't even know
That
the
is-
words you just said seemed like some in the right order and some not.
Okay, so when I was in school, this is how we remembered kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species.
Oh, gotcha. To like a mnemonic device for those. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, what's
King Phillip came over from Germany swimming? So that's how we
King
remember
Phillip
things
came
like
over
that.
from Germany swimming. That's awesome. I'll never forget that.
Why did he have? See, but then my brain is this way because I know that's just a mnemonic device. I know it's just to
Yes,
make you remember
yes.
a thing. But all I can think about is what was he running from? Was he fleeing from political persecution? Like I go into
Well,
this
that's
whole
how you
story.
make another mnemonic from who he's fleeing from to remember something else.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Which is
Okay.
really
you could probably
weird. I mean-
substitute any other S word for swimming if it makes you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and you're a music guy,
Saturday.
right? So obviously
Yeah.
music, bro.
Yeah.
So, do you remember Every Good Boy Does Fine and Faces? Did you do
Yes,
that?
absolutely
For the
remember
scales?
those. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm not
There's
even a music
something-
guy, but that's how I remember the scales.
You never forget those. Yeah, absolutely.
I vaguely remember that one, but
Every good boy deserves fudge instead of every good boy does fine.
what was the typing
Right.
one? The typing was not a mnemonic device, but yet
No, that's the one where you use
brown fox went running up,
jumped over the
thing.
lazy dog.
Yeah, or whatever that
Yes.
is. Learn how to type.
And that
That's
has like every single letter on it.
That is an ambigram, if I remember correctly.
Ambigram.
No, ambigram is reverse. A
Hologram?
polygram? No.
It's a Mavis beacon. Is what it is.
It's a Mavis beacon.
It's a Mavis beacon. Always
I
use
think
it.
ambigram is the same a drawing technique where the word you write can be read upside down or forward. But there's some other name for a sentence that contains all letters. I'll find it here.
All right.
Pangram. Thank
Pangram.
you. Pangram.
All right. Pangram. I like that.
Pangram.
Pangram. Dan, before we get
And what
into
day is it?
Land shark.
before we get into the games you want to recommend, Brian played
Yeah.
one or a couple in
I played a
particular,
couple yesterday. Yeah, so the one that was JJ Valentine's favorite game is a game called La Corsa Grand Prix. This is a very easy to learn card game where you are advancing your car in a Grand Prix race, in several Grand Prix races. And you're basically going head to head against the car in front of you or extending your lead if there's no car directly in front of you.
Okay.
And this is small enough it can fit in a pocket. You can take it with you. I mean, there's the extended, the big version that they had like a beautiful wooden board and little models for all of the cars. But this thing was a blast. Had a great time.
How do you
playing
spell?
that.
Look, oh, here it is. Look,
It's right here in our chat. Yeah, LACORSA.
There you go.
And I think that one's won a bunch of awards. Yeah, that's the version they had with that little wooden
That little strip there.
track.
Okay, that's cool. A little car
Wow,
chits.
I've never seen this before. It looks great. It's just one of
really
those
good.
great little games.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's like easy. Your adults and kids can learn it. Scott would love it. There was actually, I held up the manual and pointed out that it's a trifold, but there's a blank page. So it's not even both sides. It's the inside of the trifold. And it's got such a cool, like 50s design to it.
Yeah,
It's
I was
great.
going to say the whole art vibe is awesome. Like classic racing, early 60s,
Yeah.
50s stuff. I love
This
that.
screams
This was-
Johnson.
Yeah.
It totally does. You would love this, and you'd have no problem playing this with Van. You know, Van would pick up on it real easy. You'd beat him very easily because it's a game about reading your opponent and what you think they're going to play, because you're basically playing. You and your opponent are both playing a card simultaneously, and whoever card is higher, your car is going to advance or stay put if you're already in the lead. So it's a matter of thinking, oh, I think my opponent's probably going to play a high card, because once you've got a set of cards, and once you've played those cards, you're done with them. So you can kind of see what they've been playing up to that point and kind of get an idea that they might be out of high cards or that they're sandbagging or whatever.
I bet classic racing fans would love a game like this too.
Yes.
Just because the vibe of it all.
Yeah.
It's like,
But it easily could be spaceships or ogres running or whatever. It could be anything. But it's got such a cool little classic car vibe that you'd get a kick out of it.
even all this language like Italian racing red, British racing green, or racing white.
Right. Yep.
That's cool.
So
man.
that's called La Corsa, and had such a great time with that. Apparently, it's won a lot of awards too, and well deserved. Simple, but complex. Simple on the surface, but complex once you play it. The other game we played was a game called Ravine, which was a Kickstarter started by some guys here in Boulder, Colorado, and this is a collaborative survival game where you basically have to survive several nights in after a plane crash until you get rescued. And this was another. It's also a card game, but it's a collaborative card game that works really well as a collaborative. You can be selfish and eat all the food that you forage yourself, and let your friends die. But
I love this art where the plane crashes in the ravine here.
like just straight down into the.
It's really great. It's like, hey, how can we have the most simple illustration of like the most horrific event a person could have in their life? That's really awesome.
This easily could have been based on the TV show Lost and been a franchise game, because there are there's a little bit of a supernatural element in there as well. But you get close to death, and all of a sudden you have to take a madness card, and the madness card might mean you are not able to talk for the whole next round.
Oh, geez.
And so you can't even tell people what your madness card says because you play it immediately, and they can't look at it. So you're silent. Or the one that happened to me was I had to shout the name of a fear. So and until somebody said my name, so I kept going, spiders, spiders, until somebody, and nobody ever said Brian to get me out of it. So I just had to wait until the night went through.
Oh man.
That's
So
great.
this is
really
kind
cool.
of reminds me of a combination of two other games, because this is a very cool little kind of card game. A lot simpler than what some of these others that I'm going to mention real quick are. So this reminds me of Robinson Crusoe, which has been around for about 12, 13 years, from Portal Games, and Ignacy Cevicek that designed, one of the designers on that one. And that's basically just a take on a cooperative, on a desert island, and it's wildly popular, a lot of fun. And then there was another game that came out from Rob Davio, who's the father of all the legacy games in the world and worked at Hasbro and everything. It was from Yellow, that was called Mountains of Madness. That, again, it was a cooperative game about kind of survival. But what it had was these kind of madness cards. And there was one time we were playing at Origins when it first came out, and I got this card where I had to feel like I was freezing the whole time. So I'm sitting there like shivering, and every time someone's asking me a question, I had to, I don't. So it's kind of like that whole that stuff is just like it's only fun when you're getting into it. You know what I mean? Like when you get into the
RP.
game, that's how you.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Yep. Work
There it is
together
right there.
to reach the Lovecraftian peak while dodging insanity cards.
Yeah, there you go. That's
man.
exactly, very similar in style. So
That's cool. Very cool.
cool. So big recommendation for both of those.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
great. Thank
So
you.
and Brian, put
yeah.
a if you could put a feather in this for future. I'm a huge Blackstone guy, so we'll have to talk about Blackstone stuff on a future episode.
Oh, cool.
But
We'll maybe we'll start up a little Discord chat between you, me, Scott, and Dunaway, because we're all Blackstone grill owners.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got I've been told a million times, which is probably not that hard, but I'm told a million times that I've ruined people for smash burgers just because of how great it is on a Blackstone.
No,
It's
there's
so
nothing
good.
better than a freaking good smash burger. I mean,
You get a good crisp outer edge to it, and
oh my gosh, it makes me so hungry.
So good.
How did you? Do you have any tricks on the whole pre-spice? Or not, what do you call it? Seasoning. of it?
seasoning.
Yeah. Spice.
Yeah, you basically just
Well,
get
as
it
far as
cranked
the
up.
grill itself, or just for the Blackstones?
Yeah, like Brian brought.
or just for the burgers.
Brian bought some good stuff you're supposed to use. I suppose everybody probably just does this.
You don't.
Right?
You know what? You don't have to. You could use regular oil. I bought the special Blackstone griddle oil, but you don't. You can use any oil, and basically you're just going to crank up the heat on that griddle, get it super hot, then coat it with oil, and use your spatula or a cloth to spread it around. Let it smoke. Let it all smoke off, and then repeat that procedure 3 or 4 more times.
Wow.
and you're just basically laying a lot of oil, burning up a lot of oil on that thing. Wow. And now mine.
And I usually do that about once a year, usually either the beginning or the end of the season is what I try to do to redo that after every time I cook. The good stuff about that Blackstone kind of grease that they have, if you go into like a Dick's Sporting Goods, I don't know if they have that out west, but the Dick's Sporting Goods or some of these other sporting goods places that have, the Blackstone section or the griddle section, sometimes you can find that stuff really cheap. Just kind of like the grease trap, the aluminum foil grease trap things. You can find those really cheap because they go on sale all the time, and just kind of collect those for use. But any oil is really kind of good. I mean, they talk about smoke point here and there. I mean, I'm a pretty good cook on there, but I'm not a 5-star Michelin chef. I don't really, I get what oil I can without, going rock bottom just to keep everything kind of really good and oiled.
Look at this, man. This is the new dudes thing we can do together. We can.
It really is, and the Blackstone Griddle YouTube channel is fan-freaking-tastic as far as like tips and recipes and things like that. Like cleaning the grill, I was like, I know not to use any soap, and I know not to use soap because I don't want to take off the seasoning that I've been working so hard to put on there. I don't want to rust it. But they're said, all right, here's the times you're just going to want to scrape things into that back little container. Here's the times you're going to want to use water. If it's got like a sugar base, like you did some teriyaki stuff on there, you'll use water to demulsify the. I made up that word, but basically,
I liked it. It was good.
It sounded real.
That's a great way to explain it.
Yeah. That sounded good to me.
Have you ever tried Have you ever tried ice cubes? If you have, I don't know if you've got a good freezer as far as things go. I saw a tip about.
I do have a freezer that is capable of making ice cubes. If that's what you're asking.
Oh yeah, that's
well.
Good.
I mean, like some people will make use the big old ice cubes. I have like the half moon looking ice cubes in my freezer.
Oh yeah.
And when I throw those on there, it works really good because it lasts a little longer and it helps to bubble up the grease a little bit more without getting that full layer off.
That
still really helps to clean it.
Yeah, that's a good good plan. Okay, cool.
That's cool. Well, Dan, I know you brought some board games to recommend as well. What do you got on tap today?
And also in our Discord, be sure, I want to hear what you guys played at TMS Vegas too, because I meant to ask you that, but I didn't know if you were going to save that for the show. But I kind of wanted to hear what everybody had been playing.
A big thing I played was Deep Regret, the fishing game where
that's really good. Really,
the deeper
really good.
you go, the more potential for madness you can run into.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
People really like Going Crazy.
Going Crazy?
Yeah.
What's that called? Or what's that about? What's Going Crazy called? Or is that?
I meant madness. People love madness.
With madness. Yeah,
people love that mechanic.
It's a big mechanic. Like 3 of the games we've talked about so far include a madness component.
Yeah,
so it's great.
Reminds me of what was that game? Darkest Dungeons 1 and 2 has this mechanic where you basically it's an insanity meter, and you have to do things to like squash your insanity. I kind of, in theory, hate that idea, but it works really well. It's kind of a fun mechanic, but
I
don't like the idea.
If it's not overused, it's great. Yeah, for sure.
Dan, I've seen you. By the way, just a side note, I've noticed that you too have been maniacally playing Monster Train 2, like I have. And
well, you know me, I am a ridiculous addict to Monster Train 1. So once they put out Monster Train 2, I have not stopped. I have to start getting into the. Whatever they call that 25 level climb, whatever that thing is called. But, because they have all the different levels, the challenges that you do. Right now, I'm just playing with all the different factions. But man, I love that game
it's
so much.
Good.
It's so good.
Count this as a dual recommendation, everybody. If you liked even remotely the first Monster Train game, it's a deck builder. It involves trains and monsters, hell and heaven. It's a whole thing. I don't want to get too much into it. But if you've played it and you liked it even a little, 2 is more and better and great. Cannot recommend it enough. Yeah.
I do recommend starting off with 1 though, if you can, if you have the means, check out 1, because 2 just kind of almost assumes that you know kind of what you're doing, even though it kind of walks you through a lot of it in the tutorial, but still it will definitely help you by knowing Monster Train 1, just kind of how the cards work and how the train works.
And I think that thing's still on like Game Pass actually 2 is on Game Pass, so you can get both of those there, play them for free, give them a shot, see what you think, and then go from there. Anyway, all right.
So I'll go into 2 really quick. So we've got I've got a Johnson game that I really wanted to mention. So the SDJ, which is a Spiel des Jahres from Germany, that's the German game of the year. If you win this, you can almost like just put it in the bank that you're going to sell nearly 1 million copies of your game. I know that sounds like a lot, and it is obviously a lot. I mean, that's enough to almost retire when you're a game designer, which there's no money in gaming at all. But the SDJ came out, and I'll mention the 3, but there's one that I'll just mention that I really like. So Bomb Busters, Flip 7, and Crackle or Rackle, which I have no idea what the heck that is. I think it's just a German game I've never heard of.
Crackle or Rackle.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is. It may be a pretty good game, but I have no idea. But Flip 7 is one of these games I've been really into. I think I've kind of mentioned to you guys that in the last year, I've been into all these kind of cool little small card games that are just really fun. They're kind of like beer and pretzel, family weight kind of games where you just got to, like, remember when I talk about Trio? That's the game where it's like, what's your highest card? What's your lowest card? That game was really good. Flip 7 is the one that reminds me of this because basically there's a dealer each round, and in the dealer, like, you're still playing, but you're the one kind of giving out the cards. So on your turn, you're flipping over a card. Now the deck has 1 1, 2 2s, 3 3s, 4 4s, blah, 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 all the way up to, I think, 12 cards. Now, the whole point is you're either going to kind of hit or stay. Now, I say hit. Don't think about blackjack. Just say hit me, just meaning give me a card. So you're either going to take a card or you're banking the cards in your tableau, what's in front of you, and you're trying to get to 200 points after all these rounds. But the trick is, if you flip over the same card, if you flip over a second card that's the same card, you just bust and you're out for the round. Now you can keep going till you get different type cards, and then you just bank them. And there's some some other tricky cards where you can force somebody to take 3 cards, or you get like almost like a one-time get out of jail free card for the round. Like, they have different cards like that, but the game is just so chill and so light that it's just perfect.
It's just
this is why it's a great SDJ game.
And just a basic math kind of thing. You're tracking these points until you hit 200. You're not doing anything too crazy to track it all, right? Like, you're just doing
right. Well, I mean, each round you're just banking, so it's the first person to 200 to win. It's not like one round you're tracking, but like somebody's keeping score. But each round you're just trying to get as many points as you can. And of course, there's a lot of what we love to call the "I'm so good at this game," because sometimes you flip over a card and it's a second card and you bust, and sometimes you'll flip over 3 cards and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to keep winning because it just keeps coming out the right way. So there's some strategy to the game, but it's just one of those chill, fun, mindless beer and pretzel games where you're just kind of having fun playing.
I love a card game that is just a card-ass card game, and you don't need a big giant board and a bunch of pieces. Those all have their place, but I do...
Or a lot of space. And
just pull it out and go. Right. I mean, the reason Dungeon Murder is what it is because I like that kind of game, and
exactly.
I don't want too much.
Yeah, I mean, so there's those games where it's just like, cards with numbers, incredibly weirdly mathy games, which aren't overly mathy, but, we call them that. And then there's cards with words, which is like Magic and stuff like where some of these other crazy, even those just kind of like get past that point where you're just like, all right, I don't want to read 3 paragraphs to know what the hell this card does.
Yeah.
I just want to have a card that has a number and I have rules.
Sure.
And there we go.
Sure. I like it. That's awesome.
Oh, tons of fun there. That is Flip 7. So in the KDJ, which is more kind of, I would say this is more so we have the Scott Award, which is the SDJ, and the Brian Award, which is the KDJ, which is the Kennerspiel of genres, which they call the connoisseur level game. This is perfect how it works. Okay. See, everything in life can be put into morning stream terms.
That's right.
That's what I love. For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're big believers in that, by the way.
All things in life, not just games.
So what we've got here is we've got Endeavor Deep Sea, which I'm not sure if I've talked about. This is my favorite of these other 3 games for the KDJ, but it's not the one I'm necessarily going to talk about. Actually, I'll probably talk about this one anyway. But there's also Endeavor Deep Sea, Far Away, and Loot, which has got 3 O's. That game's pretty good. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. It might actually be the one that wins, but we're fine. It's a fine game. Okay. Far Away, I think I talked about a couple of years ago, because what's weird about these SDJ and KDJ is it's not when things come out, it's when things come out in Germany, because it's the German game of the year. So games like Endeavor came out last year, which makes it which makes why it's eligible. It came out here and came out there. But Far Away, which came out here a few years ago, I think it actually came out in like France, then came out here, and then came out in Germany. So since it's just released in Germany last year, it's a game that is up for the award, and that's why it's really good. I think I talked about this one. This is another actually pretty cool kind of card game, Far Away, where you're kind of drafting cards each round, and they'll have different pictures on them and ways that you have to score. Now, the trick of the game is you're making your tableau. You're drafting 8 cards, and you basically think of it as 8 cards left to right, and as you're drafting cards, at the end of the 8th card, you basically flip over all the cards face down, and then you flip them over one at a time. Instead of from 1 to 8, you go 8 to 1. So as you're playing the game, you have to think in your mind, all right, am I going to reveal enough to be able to score them? Because some of these cards have things that will score, maybe 2 points for every blue card or 10 points for every red, blue, yellow, and green card that you have. But if you flip it over, it scores immediately. It doesn't like just cumulatively score like when the game's over. So as you're flipping them over, they score. So you have to remember what you're playing and what you have played in order to help score at the end of the whole, basically game or round. It's 8 cards. This is going to be one where Johnson is going to play the game, but Ibit is going to read the rules and explain the game because it's going to be much easier to do it that way.
That sounds great. I need someone to read these. Or is it one of those games where you say, let's just play around, I'll figure it out? Can I do that in this one?
Yes, well, absolutely. So you can play a whole game and then you can figure it out because Far Away probably plays maybe 20 minutes to play a game, and then you're like, all right, I get it now. Let's play it again. Because this is a game that, since it's so much fun, you're going to want to play it. Because when you get done with it, you're like, oh my God, I get it now. Because especially since it is, like I said, I explained it, but even me explaining it and you're like, I get it. No, you don't get it until you actually play it. Because once you start flipping those cards over after the first round, you're like, I get it now.
Okay. Well, cool. I'm happy. I like games where I can get them when I play them. Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
And then, so Endeavor Deep Sea, Brian, I think this is something you really like. Scott, you can fall asleep for a few minutes. Endeavor Deep Sea is really good because it's kind of a bit heavier, but in a really cool way. Like you're gonna
play, Scott, go play with this marker.
Yeah, go do something else. Go squirt, do an air can in your mouth while I go to the rest of the story. I love it.
It's actually, I think, Scott, since you do kind of like, it's a good nautical theme. You probably would like this, but you just have to basically,
so cool.
We would have to separate our Friday night and be like, Scott, we're playing a heavy game this Friday. You're going to love it, but just bear with us and just, empty out your calendar. We're playing this Friday night. But so you're kind of drafting these people that go into your tableau as far as different specialists. And then as you activate the specialists, they're going to activate different things. Now you'll have a certain amount of, drafting powers or action powers, or even discs to do actions, or even amount of movement for your submarine. And you're kind of moving around the landscape. And there's different scenarios that you have. The way the board is set up as far as is random each kind of game you play. So there's a lot of replayability. It's just really, really fun. There's I think there might be one expansion and then another one that's coming to Kickstarter soon. But this game, it's so damn fun. It's so much fun for kind of a medium weight Euro. And again, I don't want to call it a heavyweight Euro because it's going to be intimidating as you're looking at it, but the game itself is not that hard.
I'm in love with the art style of all of it. I love the tone of it. I love these card pad art things, whatever these are called. I forget what you call these. It's like player card art things.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are called. But I love that look.
The art is super cool.
Yeah, the color
you mean
scheme.
Like kind of like your tableau where you're kind of your player board?
Yeah. That player board stuff where I guess these all connect, but these are just my vibe. I love the look.
I mean, everything is intuitive. Again, it's one of these things where I'm sure even Brian, like when you look at this, you're like, my God, there is stuff everywhere. But once you learn the language, which is not that hard to teach, everything makes sense as to what these symbols mean, what these different boards mean, what the player, what the specialist will do. It all is very, very intuitive. And that's there's a lost art in games with kind of being intuitive, like to be able to learn it easier, to be able to understand, and just the graphic design is an art form all to itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's really cool. So these are I do like that we get one that like people can just pick up and go, and one that's like a little more complicated. Like I also like the joke that Scott doesn't understand how to play these games, but it is actually, I think that's good. The audience wants to have some choice, and they're going to be different kinds of gamers.
And that's by no means, I have to say this all the time, and Scott, you already know this. This is by no means an indictment on your intelligence.
Of course
whatsoever.
not. Of course not. But I'll admit,
attention, yes, but intelligence, no.
My undiagnosed ADD knows no bounds, and when it comes to rule books, woo boy, not great.
Yeah. Well, because we've all been there. Because we've, when you have game days, I've even had it. Like when you go to cons and stuff, they're long days. Or sometimes when someone's teaching, I'm usually like every group has a Dan to it where you've got the rules guy or the teacher, like somebody that's going to read the rules ahead of time and then teach it. But sometimes when I'm watching somebody read the rules, I might yawn every 5 seconds just because it's just a natural thing. I yawn when I'm watching videos of how to play. I yawn, and it's just a hard thing. It has nothing to do. It's not deficit. It's just, I think it's just human nature of learning, of trying to figure out of the overwhelmingness of it all. And then it just kind of like there's something in your mind that just snaps and is ready to go, and you're like, oh my God, I understand what the hell's going on here.
I'll 99% of the time prefer watching a watch it played over reading the instruction manual, because sometimes instruction manuals are not written in a way that makes the right flow sense, as far as like, it starts going into what all the different game modes are before it explains, here's the order of play. You'll do this, and then you'll do this, and then you'll do this in each turn. I need that first. So it's like, okay, you're going to draw a card, you're going to play an action, and then you're going to discard a card. I need that first, and then I need to know, all right, what are all the potentials for playing a card? What are all the potentials for drawing? But sometimes it goes right into, well, the cards you'll find in the box are this, 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 and this, and they each do this. But I need that. Like the watch it played guy does a better job.
Rodney,
is Rodney.
Yep.
My goodness, that guy must only drink whole milk. It looks like,
well, he's Canadian, so that has a lot to do with it.
Oh, that explains it. Okay, and he's probably one of those Western Canadians versus those racy Eastern.
No, he's like Eastern. So he's so far. I think he's PEI or something like that. He's so far east that he's like ahead of Eastern time.
Oh wow, okay. So it even wraps around to be more. The Far Eastern is more. No, I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, his, he's a charming dude, and he explains everything super well. But I feel like I need to go beat somebody up after watching him, because I need balance.
Yeah. So and it's funny because there's about 4 or 5 channels that do watch it, how to play games very well, and they're all good in their own way, and they're all good in their own type of games. Rodney, I like very well for the under 1 hour games, and there's other people that I like for the hour plus games.
Oh, really?
Okay. For, the difficulty in the games, and again, that's something you learn, as you watch a million of these like I do. But there's definitely a certain also all the different publishers have their own way of writing rule books depending on who they hire to write the rule books. And I'm sure, Brian, you read a lot of rule books, so you're like, sometimes you look at this company and you're like, oh my god, I could read one of their rule books again.
Yeah,
it's going to be a disaster.
I just need to have Deucey around all the time.
Yes,
your own personal little slave Deucey who could just be there.
Deucey does a great job of explaining games. Yeah,
he's very good at it. Very, very good. Well, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Check out these games, everybody. Good stuff. Give us the 2 names again so we don't forget them.
So Flip 7. I actually talked about Flip 7, Far Away, and Endeavor Deep Sea.
Endeavor Deep Sea.
Oh, that's right. And then you mentioned this Bomb Busters, which I know we didn't talk about, but I love the art on this, and I kind of want to know more.
Oh, it's hugely popular too. It's just a game that it's not something that I've played yet, but a million people rave about it. It's one that definitely could be a winner there. And that designer is an amazing designer, Hayashi. I think he even did. I think he's the one that did. Oh my God! It's the 18 card. It's the most popular. Oh God. Bear with me. I'm looking it up on BGG right now because it is. Yeah, I don't remember what the heck it is. It's no. Anyway, he did Yokohama, which I love. Trains, which is great. I'm just trying to figure out what it is that I'm thinking of. But anyway, he's another great designer.
Is it Train or is it Metro X? Metro X? Is that the one?
No, it's an 18 card game, and maybe it's not. It's the one with the princess, and maybe he's not the one that did it. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But it's been put out by a team.
You don't mean the A team that can, if you can find
18,
them.
18 card.
Okay. All right. I love that if you can find them, then maybe you can hire the A team.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Anyway. Well, that's great. Check all of these out. Brian, give the name of the ones you played or the ones you played.
Oh, yeah. La Corsa and Ravine.
Very nice.
I talked about.
I think we'll put all this up at quicktms.li. And
send me links to those, Dan, at your convenience, and I'll put them up on the site.
Yes.
Excellent.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, boys. And sorry about the little bit of problems earlier. And I hope everybody had a great holiday, and I hope you have a good week. And look forward to seeing you guys soon.
We'll see you soon.
Not your fault. Yeah.
Bye now. Oh, whoops. Bye now. There he goes. All right, that actually worked really well.
It was great
for guests.
It's perfect.
I'm going to remove from group. How do I do that? There we go. All right. Well, there you go. There's Dan. We did it. Hey, guys, we pulled it off. We do have one final bit of stuff here to mention, which is this. Today, there is a brand new word on the street with myself, Greg Street, the art director, and a 3D modeler working at Fantastic Pixel Castle. This is going to be a big one because we're going to show a ton of visual stuff. We're going to show off creature design, some animation, some of these boss characters in-game, some of their process on how they create characters or go from concept to finally, hey, it's in the game and it's being played in their playtests. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited about this one today. So please tune in and check that out. Frogpants.tv. That'll be about an hour from now. So just about noon. Well, actually, noon is when we'll start. So check that out. That's today. This is this month's episode of Word on the Street. Find details at frogpants.com/street. Brian, you got anything else going on you want to mention?
Nope. I'd like to. I'm hoping to get some Millennium Falcon time. Falcon. Jeez.
Falcon.
Saying it fast, it makes me want to put an M at the end of Falcon. Hoping to get some time to build a Falcon this week, even if it's like 1 hour segments, because I think I'm just shy of one box from getting all the pieces to be able to complete this thing. So we got some catch up to do with the last few boxes and get it loaded.
That's awesome. I can't wait for that. Well, let's leave the people with a song. What do you got for us today?
I think it's a great idea. Andreas from Denmark wrote in and said, "Greetings, Scoot and Boot. As I finally get the answer to life, the universe, and hopefully everything, I was hoping you could play a song around the 25th of May. Anything the Covermeister could find by Garbage, Placebo, Suede, or similar Brit rock would be amazing. Love the show, though." Andreas from Denmark.
Nice.
Man, you just named like 3 of my favorite bands. So, but I'm going to go with the first one you said, Garbage, because Garbage just came out at the end of last year, came out with an EP collecting covers that they've done in other places, some of which I had from those other sources, but others that I didn't. And the song we're going to be playing today is one I did not have until the release of this EP. By the way, the EP was called Copy Paste Volume 1. And came out at the end of last year.
Nice.
Here is their cover of the Psychedelic Furs' Love My Way. Here is Garbage.
Wear them loud and proud, friend. Be large and in charge. You're always welcome at frogpants.com.
Hey, I like him now. This guy is grade A government beef here.